Here we go. Everyone coming out of the woodwork. They got something to say about the Ripple Prime news as if it's not giant. Let's see what these clowns have
On
to say.
balance sheets, and an entire business was born, and it's a massive business. It's called Prime Brokerage, and it's funny. I deal with the XRP army, and so do you, Scott. On the weekends, these people they could barely spell Prime Brokerage. They don't understand. They're like screaming how great it is that Ripple Prime is going to be this great,
You're getting in trouble again.
this incredible thing. Now, by the way, Ripple Prime is a great idea.
Did he not just contradict himself there literally within a fraction of a second?
There are a couple pieces missing. I said that. I'm not going to give them free advice. They can call me. I'll happily to tell them why. But Ripple has a great balance sheet because the world has gifted them this XRP, hoard. And they can borrow against it, and they can create a great balance sheet. Hidden Road is a great component. They have a custodian. They have all the key pieces. But Prime Brokerage is essentially a business on balance.
Dude, the arrogance of these people is actually astounding. He's like, oh, they're missing a couple of things, but I'm not going to give them free advice. Yeah, I'm sure Ripple definitely won't succeed without your advice at Dave Weisberger, #1. It's fucking astounding. I'm not going to argue with the fact that when he said a lot of the XRP people can't spell Prime Brokerage, because ever since I started doing this channel, yet again, the wrath of the bots or people or kids who truly don't know anything about this is actually astounding. The comments I get on TikTok, which yet again, I can't fathom whether they're actual people or not, but not all of us. There's a lot of us who kind of do know what's going on, but then I'm getting tweets and shit that are like, oh my God, Trump is he's buying all the XRP and all this just crazy stuff. Like I definitely try to connect the dots in the conspiracy world, but some of these guys or kids or bots, whatever, they go way too far. Okay, what else we got? That was crazy. Just in, Jim Cramer says we're officially in a bear market. The inverse Cramer. Here we go. We're saved, boys. Oh, there it is. Like I said last night, anything consumer-oriented has seemed to have entered bear market territory. Just an incredible reversal. Expect a giant Godzilla candle in the coming days. Not financial advice. I'm just going against what Jim Cramer says. You can't beat the inverse Cramer. Just in, Treasury Secretary Bessent says U.S. and China's trade relationship is in a good place. Let's hope, dude. There's been literally nothing but talking forever. What women think men want, what men really want. That's actually true. I just want my bags pumped, bro. Just in, 1.36 billion liquidated from the cryptocurrency market in the past 24 hours. We're bleeding bad. We're bleeding real bad right now, dude. I think XRP is sitting at like 225 right now. If you got money, not financial advice, but if you got money on the sidelines right now, I'm a little burnt out right now, but I'd be stacking it like crazy, but that's just me. I'll try to pull something together if this sticks around for a little bit more. DAI, RLUSD rising to number 65, lock in. I think in my crystal ball in my mind, I see this rising like a fucking, like what they say, the phoenix rising from the ashes. I see this thing climbing the ladder quicker than not. It just hit $1 billion market cap the other day. It's making moves, dude. In 9 months, setting records. Like I said last night. Oh, there it is, yeah. I had to like it so I could find it again. Anyone else becoming increasingly more uncomfortable with the fact that the entire economy is based off of an unprofitable company's ability to purchase hundreds of billions of dollars of compute? Just in, Amazon announces $38 billion partnership deal with OpenAI. There's a lot of talk going around about us being in an AI bubble, and like Michael Burry from The Big Short and everything. But he comes out of his hole every now and again and kind of just starts spewing nonsense. And he's like, oh, I'm going to short it. He got lucky once, or not lucky. He did see it once, but then he comes out all these other times and kind of misses, I think. I don't know. Maybe this will be The Big Short too. Michael Burry back in action, Electric Boogaloo calling this. But I did watch a really interesting video, how we all kind of know and hear the narrative that China wants to move on Taiwan and take Taiwan or destabilize it or something, because literally all of the world's chip production comes from Taiwan. This one company, it's like the acronym TMNC or whatever, and they literally make all of the chips. Even for Apple, like Apple says they manufacture their own chips like the M series and stuff. Nope, it's manufactured by them. Apple designs them NVIDIA designs their chips, but they send it off to that company. And there's so much proprietary knowledge and just years of doing it that they are the only kind of people who could do it, and they can't just pick up the operation and bring it here. They're trying to over time, but that's really bad. They talk about don't put all your eggs in one basket. A lot of these companies, like we witnessed the other day, Amazon Web Services going down, all of our eggs kind of are in one basket, even if it doesn't look like it. Like, oh, we got Microsoft, this, that. No, they all rely on like the core fucking one company. This TM whatever in Taiwan. Crazy stuff. It's not the data center. It's growth. Tonight, top of show. Kiss your wife and kids. We are heading toward a multi-decade depression. Oh, man. We never learn. Please, babe, take some profit. No, I'm buying more. Jesus Christ. Yo, the original Spider-Man's goated. Same shit, different fraud. I don't know why. I would like to hear more valid arguments as to why people say Sam Altman is a fraud. He does seem like a sociopath beyond belief, like when Tucker was bringing up the OpenAI whistleblower who offed himself, but he most likely didn't off himself. His response, he's just like very creepy sociopath. It's weird that a lot of these guys who run these big tech stuff, they're fucking weird, man. They really are. It's unsettling. These are the guys running everything. Yeah, here we go. This is what I was just saying. My last $50, another big market drop. That's me. That movie is phenomenal too. Saving Private Ryan. And there we go. Chainlink making massive moves lately. The past couple of weeks, dude. We're excited to announce that Chainlink is powering cross-border DVP settlement between the Central Bank of Brazil and Hong Kong Monetary Authority, alongside Banco Inter. Standard Chartered, you get the program. Dude, they've been making a lot of partnerships. I just saw, I think I covered it in the video, Stellar integrated with Chainlink's like protocol and stuff. These guys are making moves. That's what's gonna keep you ahead of the game, bro. You got to be able to interact. That interoperability. That's how it's gonna be in the end. These walled gardens are not gonna cut it, in my mind. I don't think. Going outside anytime after 4 p.m. in November. That's how I felt yesterday, dude. The seasonal depression is kicking in. Yeah, the Ripple Prime news again. There we go. Ripple acquired Palisade Inc. And apparently Palisade Inc. is a digital wallet platform, essentially, that allows big institutions and whoever to build their... Basically, what I was kind of thinking, it seems like Shopify, but for digital wallets, essentially. So it gives you all the tools you need to like make your digital wallet infrastructure just easy. It's Streamlines that process. Is it Streamline? Yeah, they're acquiring things left and right, dude. And yeah, I haven't looked too much into this, but I saw this and this looked interesting. Every integration maximum impact. Out of the box support for the leading blockchains and DeFi protocols, including Avalanche, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Polygon, and more. Unrivaled integration depth on select number of chains, including XRP. Integrate with leading vendors, including Elliptical and and they got all these, AWS, Google Cloud, and then Ripple made a statement about it. Institutional grade asset custody just got supercharged. Palisade offers a fast and scalable wallet solution, ideal for on and off ramps and global corporate payments. This integration accelerates value transfer across Ripple payments and Ripple custody. Secure custody enables the on-chain economy, from safe storage to seamless transfer. We're building the Internet of Value. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, and I'm here for it, dude. With native support for leading cloud providers such as AWS and Google Cloud Platform. I got to look more into this, but just hearing those names, I could see the vision of where I think this is going, and it connects the dots to that supposed, not confirmed, Amazon Ripple deal. I forget the lady who wrote the article back then, but she wrote that Amazon basically had like an option contract or bought a shit ton of XRP or something like that, and then she was like, yeah, they can't say that announcement because then the price would soar, but when that announcement comes to light, you can see where this is going. Amazon's eventually gonna have digital asset payments like this. You kidding me? They're not gonna fucking stay archaic. They gotta be at the forefront of that shit. I can't even imagine the volume they sell. The number probably wouldn't even make sense. The swell effect, we're even lower than this. Yeah, it's not a good look when I just tuned into the Ripple Swell live feed, and these guys are talking, and they have the tickers for all like cryptocurrency going at the bottom like you would on CNBC, and they're all bleeding red. Although I assume the suits and everything, see that and they know, hey, I'm getting my bags packed. They don't really give a fuck. Like me, I understand this is at least was what it seems like, crazy amounts of manipulation, unfathomable amounts. Know what you hold. When you see all this, I keep up with this daily, dude. Fucking subscribe, hit the like button, all that. Even Gemini coming on board, dude. Next week's looking real XRP coded. That was 2 days ago. Ripple swell. Dying to see if anything of substance comes out of this day one of Ripple swell. Artificial intelligence, Bitcoin, and robotics will save America's future. Yeah, I mean, let's hope, dude. They can either save it or iRobot it and fucking they'll go to town on us. 7 years ago, Ripple was pitted next to Swift. Here's Brad Garlinghouse on RippleNet and the XRP token and how Ripple will change global finance while working with regulators and banks. XRP actually was the best performing digital asset. It was of the last year.
Thanks. It's the volume
for sure
out there. What kind of volume are you looking at?
Well, we've had one that we could talk publicly about is we have one corridor and run by SEB, which is one of the first or second largest bank in Sweden, has done over $1 billion USD equivalent through one corridor. So while on the global macro scale, we're still just getting started. I think we're on mile 1 of a marathon, but we've crossed that starting line.
We really are.
Like, this is real activity in production systems where customers are really benefiting from that. We clearly have a long way to go, and the overall maturity of the digital asset market, I think, has a long way to go. But if we keep going back to let's focus on a real problem and solve a real problem for real customers, I'm really optimistic.
You have several products. We talked about the system, RippleNet. You also have a digital token, which is the XRP. How is the XRP doing? Because we saw it surge 1,300%.
Right. So XRP actually was the best performing digital asset in 2017. It was up, I think, something like 25,000%.
Oh, this is, yeah, you could tell this is from a while ago because he's a lot more grayed out now.
The excitement around digital assets is because I think you're solving a real problem. And I think one of the things you saw happen, particularly last December, is there's understandably concern about regulation and what does that mean for digital assets. From the get-go, Ripple has worked with regulators, and we have worked with regulated institutions like banks where there isn't regulatory uncertainty. And so we have found that part of the reason why XRP has performed well is because people realize, hey, wait a minute, back to your question, is XRP the next Bitcoin? If we work with the system to solve this problem, and we can solve that problem at scale, a problem measured in the trillions of dollars, then there's a lot of opportunity to create value in XRP.
It's the
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell her, Brad. Tell her to sit her ass down, even though she's already sitting. Good morning, sir. You got liquidated again. Dude, this Neobot is the biggest hunk of shit ever imaginable. The whole time they've been demoing it, it's someone remote operating it. Like, they've done that at the Tesla events and stuff, showing off Optimus and this and that. But this one specifically, they were showing it off to, like, Wall Street Journal and stuff. And never once was it doing anything actually automated. It was someone remote controlling it the whole time. And the whole point, I guess, is like the early adopters are going to spend 20 grand on a robot. It's going to be more than that with tax and shit and delivery and stuff. And they basically just want eyes and ears in the home so then people can remote operate it and learn how to do things, which is fucking crazy. So crazy. So bad. Hey, eventually, when the most I think I would, once the robot can actually do some things of substance, I would pay like, I mean, if you want a consumer robot, it's got to be, it can't be 20 grand, obviously. I think 7 grand might be a good price tag for one of these bots. This is a crazy video of Peter Thiel talking about how Bitcoin has been co-opted by BlackRock and the government in his view. All right, hey, let's just see what he says. Oh, I hate this guy. This guy's on CNBC all the time, too. He gives me massive rat vibes. Apparently, people said he has CIA ties. I got no clue if that's true. I wouldn't deny it. Peter Thiel he's an interesting bastard, to say the least.
Because another investment that you've made and been very public about is Bitcoin. You have remained a very big bull. You have come out publicly and you said that enemy number one to Bitcoin is the sociopathic grandpa from Omaha that you described as Warren Buffett. Can you tell me what you were thinking when you said that?
It got a lot of laughs.
Warren Buffett is sitting on, I think, 380 billion of cash right now. And whenever I see that, it makes me worry that there's a giant crash. So, like, I watch so much stuff about how this whole economy and everything is literally like teetering like a Jenga block right now. And yeah, I don't know, when I see him sitting on, he's ready to go on a fire sale shop.
So somehow people, it probably hit some kind of a
Spit it out.
It was in a 2022 Bitcoin
right?
convention talk I gave, and there were three separate enemies. There was Jamie Dimon, Larry
Fink, who's no longer an enemy, by the way.
Yeah, he sort of shifted, but maybe I can say the anti-Larry Fink things too. But and then there was Warren Buffett, and the rough context was my sort of political sociological analysis was the cryptocurrencies it was a revolutionary youth movement, but for them to really take over, you needed it couldn't just be a student uprising like 1968. You needed to get the rest of the society on board, and and as long as the old people were going to sit on their hands, that was the big blocker for cryptocurrencies to.
Well, they've
go to
been
the
in
next
it
level.
now.
And
Are you still convinced?
I think it's gotten partially unlocked with the Bitcoin ETF, but then probably the part where I'm less convinced of is this question of the sort of ideological founding vision of Bitcoin or these cryptocurrencies as sort of cypherpunk, crypto anarchist, libertarian, anti-centralized government thing.
That's not going to work. Bitcoin's like the solar opposite of that now.
Isn't that what got you interested in the first place?
That's what I.
All of crypto is like that dream was never going to become a reality.
That's what I thought was terrific about it. And then the question is, does it really work that way, or has that thread somehow gotten lost? And so when people in the FBI tell me that they'd much rather have criminals use Bitcoin than $100 bills, it suggests that maybe maybe it's not quite working the way it was supposed to.
Dude, they if they want to find you, they're going to find you.
Sold any of your Bitcoin?
I still hold some. There are all these ways I didn't buy as much as I should have, and I'm not sure it's going to go up that dramatically from here.
From here?
Yeah, I think we got the ETF edition, and I don't know who else buys it quickly.
Interesting. If I'm just going to throw something out there, I could see him being behind it. Those quote unquote 4 Satoshis. 4? I think there's probably more. If I should have guessed.
That actually surprised me because I don't think I've heard you. I thought you were still all in.
I still have a small position. It probably still can go up some, but it's going to be a volatile, bumpy ride. And I had a dual reason. One was the sort of ideological, decentralized future of computing world that I really do believe in. Really believe would be better. And it seemed like the perfect vehicle for that for such a long time, and I'm just much less convinced of that. So maybe Larry Fink with the BlackRock ETF surrendered to the forces, the anti-ESG forces, or maybe it's more like Bitcoin's been co-opted by them, and I worry it was more the latter.
That's what it seems like, because I was seeing some people talk about the implications of like that, like when BlackRock comes in. They set the monopoly up because apparently BlackRock has a lot of pull or stake in a lot of the mining operations and the Bitcoin treasury companies. So, of course, they want their hands on everything. And that's why it seems like Michael Saylor literally has his back to the wall, because he's made a deal with the mafia. And when you're that far in, you can't get out, So it just seems like they kind of did what Ripple's doing in a sense. They just circle you. They circle you, and then that's it. They got your ass. And then they pump it once they're in position, just like every other big suit. Guys, I'm going to continue this video over on the Patreon right now. We still got some more stories to run through. One of this talking about how last year, literally November 4th, 5th, we shot up. And percentage-wise, if you took what happened to XRP and you did it now, what price you would be getting. We got that. We got the IMF talking about tokenization. We got people crying about the Solana price. We got people crying about prices in general. But you could join the Minutemen by clicking the Patreon link in the description below. It supports the channel. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, comment, notifications on. And I will see you over in the Patreon. Let's go.